guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be discussing the infantilization of idols in K-pop. Now I feel like this topic has been debated a lot, but I never really see anyone discuss it in great detail. We're all fairly familiar with the concept of treating idols like babies when they aren't, but it seems like many people don't understand the damage infantilizing idols can do not only to them, but to the fans as well. So let's start by defining the word infantilization. To infantilize someone means to treat someone as a child in a way which denies their maturity in age or experience. So for example, if you're an adult but your parents refuse to give you the responsibilities that come with being an adult and continue to treat you like a little kid, that would be your parents infantilizing you. So in K-pop, this would be the company, fans, the general public, etc., treating an idol as though they aren't an adult. This has often been pointed out in concepts companies will give their idols, and a common point of controversy in K-pop is whether or not groups or idols are forced to do cute concepts and or act innocent or cute. In some cases, we find that many of these groups are not being forced to act cute or take on a cute concept, and that they genuinely like their image. But in other cases, we find that some groups and idols don't like the cute image that's being forced upon them. However, despite the everlasting debate about cute concepts, there isn't anything inherently wrong with them. If a group or idol is portraying a cute concept that isn't sexualizing or fetishizing youth or cuteness, there's nothing to be upset about. People fail to realize that the real problem with cute concepts is when fans and the general public aren't able to differentiate the concept from the person and begin to treat them like babies because of this. The best example of the extent to which fans baby their idols is by none other than IU. IU is well known for being labeled Korea's little sister, which essentially means that she's known for having a pure and innocent image. However, despite the fact that she's loved in Korea for this image, IU has expressed on several different occasions that being seen as cute and innocent makes her uncomfortable. She even voiced this feeling not even less than a year after she made her debut when she was 15 years old. On April 23, 2009, she released her first studio album, Growing Up, along with the title track, Boo. This comeback emphasized her youthfulness and cuteness, which IU said made her feel awkward. On multiple occasions throughout her career, IU was treated as a child despite the fact that she was entering or had already reached adulthood. When she debuted, people criticized her label for giving her a concept that was inappropriate for a 15-year-old, despite the fact that the only problem people found with this concept was that her debut song was a dark and melancholy ballad. Later, in 2012, IU was criticized after a picture of her surfaced of her holding what people believed to be alcohol. It was later revealed to be oolong tea, but the outrage was the first real example of the general public refusing to treat her like an adult. Despite the fact that at the time IU was of drinking age, people were outraged at the idea that Korea's little sister might drink from time to time despite being an adult. That same year, IU ranked #1 on a survey where 200 netizens were asked the question, which celebrity would you like to not have a sexy image and not reveal much skin? Those who voted for her said that they were happy with the innocent and cute image she had and didn't want her to do a different concept in the future, making sure to stipulate that they didn't want to see her do a sexy concept. This infantilizing of her got so bad to the point where IU eventually addressed this in a song titled 23 that she released in 2015. The music video shows IU running through a wonderland of sorts, seeing her struggle with the whimsicalness of youth and the responsibilities of adulthood. However, the general public didn't understand the message and she was accused of using a Lolita concept, which is ironic coming from the people who fetishized her youth and innocence throughout her entire career. IU is an adult despite the cutesy image that she might have had during the early days of her career. And when fans fail to separate IU's concepts from who she is as a person, we see the long-lasting struggle she's had to face with getting the general public to treat her like an adult. While this most commonly seems to happen with female idols, it also happens with male idols as well. Jungkook is another well-known example of fans taking babying their idols to the extreme. Jungkook has long had an image of being a sweet, innocent boy, especially considering that he made his debut in BTS at only 15 years old. However, despite his age, fans have continuously treated him like a child. People have perpetuated the myth that Jungkook is afraid of women, which originally started out as a joke and now has gained much momentum that people now take it seriously. Many fans were outraged when Jungkook grew out his hair and began to get tattoos, and many have even gone as far to speculate that he's so innocent and so ignorant to the world that he doesn't even know what sex is. And it's clear that Jungkook is aware of this, as on numerous occasions he's said that he prefers being manly and sexy as opposed to cute, and that he's uncomfortable with the way people baby him. So the question now remains, why is this so common in K-pop? Why is the infantilization of adults something we see so often in the industry? To answer that, we have to tackle the obsession with youth and innocence in K-pop. In the industry, we see all sorts of forces and elements that work to maintain the image of youthfulness. We see idols still dressing in schoolgirl and schoolboy outfits, despite the fact that most of them are adults and therefore years out of high school. How aegyo is forced onto idols even if they've made it clear that they don't like it. And how more and more we start to see idols debut even younger. I want to be clear that this is not a critique of Korean culture. I understand that certain aspects like aegyo are a part of Korean culture, and that's not what I'm trying to criticize. This is a critique rather of the K-pop industry and fans of K-pop, and how the fetishization of innocence and youth leads idols to feel trapped between the need to appease their fans by continuing to act cute and innocent and wanting to come into adulthood. And on top of that, I want to say once again that cute concepts are not the same as babying an idol. Taking on a cute image for an artistic purpose isn't inherently wrong. It's only when people fail to separate artistic choice from who the idol is as a person. The infantilization of groups and idols not only negatively affects idols, but also the fan base. By treating idols like babies, you imply that these idols aren't capable of taking responsibility for their actions and can't be held accountable when they fuck up. The infantilization of idols prevents them from receiving justified criticism because fans fiercely defend their idols by claiming that they didn't and or couldn't have known better, even if the actions of the idol or group in question were deliberate. In June 2020, AB6IX's Youngmin was caught drinking while driving. While no one was seriously injured, the incident displayed extremely poor decision-making, and he left the group as a result of this. However, fans of the group rallied around him and insisted that Youngmin didn't know any better and argued that being forced to leave the group was too serious of a punishment. Fans said this even though Youngmin is an adult and has the cognitive thinking skills to understand his actions and why they were wrong, and even though South Korea has been notoriously strict about laws surrounding driving, which is something Youngmin knew. Treating Youngmin as though he didn't know better than to drink and drive strips him of his responsibilities that come along with being an adult and says that he can't be held responsible for his actions. Similarly, when Blackpink released How You Like That earlier this year, people pointed out that the Hindu deity Ganesha was being used as the prop in the music video. Hindu fans were rightfully upset about this, especially as the majority of Hindu fans are also South Asian, and Blackpink has been called out before for appropriating South Asian culture. This time, fans not only defended Blackpink, but went as far to harass people who were calling them out and asking for an apology, and demanded that YG protect Blackpink from quote-unquote defamation and hateful tweets. The denying of any wrongdoing combined with gaslighting Hindu and South Asian people upset by Blackpink's actions is an aggressive form of infantilization. Treating them like they've done nothing wrong and then harassing people who are upset by their actions says that Blackpink cannot be held responsible for the mistakes they've made and that anyone upset by what they've done just has to get over it. And these are just a couple of examples. We see this behavior every single time an idol or group gets called out. They're treated like they're incapable of knowing any better, and fans will either gaslight people upset by their actions, or they'll try and shift blame onto the stylist, manager, or company based on what's most convenient given the situation. Overall, we as fans have to work to stop treating idols as babies. Most of these idols are adults, and if they aren't yet, they're about to be. Being an idol is already difficult enough on its own, but the added pressure of fans wanting you to remain cute and innocent prevents idols from being able to grow and experience new things like getting tattoos, changing their hair, trying a new concept, etc. Young adulthood is a time to figure out who you are as a person, and it's unreasonable to expect somebody who's in their mid to late 20s to continue to behave and act like they were when they were a teenager. And it's harmful not only to them, but to us as fans. Babying idols prevents them from being held accountable for their actions, and in turn, we demonize fans belonging to minority groups who may have been offended and hurt by what an idol or group has done. Learning to hold yourself accountable for mistakes you make is a part of adulthood, and the longer we treat these idols like children, the more we tell them that they never have to accept any sort of accountability for their action. Anyways, that's all for the video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and comment down below your opinions. I would love to know what you guys thought and if you think that there's something else that I didn't mention in this video in relation to babying idols. But yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!